So my kid, he has a tendency to say very wrong place, wrong time things. Like it comes out as very inappropriate, but really he don't mean any harm by it. I've written down some examples for you. One thing he's specifically interested in learning about his ancestors, specifically how they died. I mean, I can't judge. I didn't reach my existential crisis till 25, but he might be an early bloomer. But anyways, one time right before bed, he asked me, "Where's your grandfather, MJ?" Now my grandfather, God bless, I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but he unalived himself a long time ago. It was almost bedtime. I wasn't gonna get into that now. Like, I believe in being open and honest with kids, but come on, I was tired. I was like, "Why don't we talk about this tomorrow?" He's like, "How did he die, MJ?" But then he got the vibe that something wasn't normal about this particular passing, you know? However, it seems that he believed that somebody else probably did it, and like he was ready to avenge this. He asked me, he said, "Who killed your grandfather, MJ?" Finally, I just said to him, "You know what? Depression." It was almost 9:30. One time he introduced my husband and I by saying, "These are my fat parents." I know most people would be highly offended by that introduction, but my son, it's just like a descriptor to him, like it's just a fact, you know what I mean? I watch a lot of true crime, unsolved mysteries, stuff like that. I know, so quirky. Everybody does. Well, one time when my son was younger, I was watching an episode and I didn't think he was paying attention because he was like so absorbed, it seemed, in his tablet. Well, I've learned not to watch stuff like that in front of him because, once again, not trying to make light of the situation, but this particular episode was about a guy who stuffed victims in a bucket in his car. Like, fast forward, like, days later, we were going on vacation to Vermont, and at the time we drove like a little sedan. So my son was like, "Hey, I want grandma and grandpa to come too." And I was like, "No, like, we can't fit them in the car." And he says, "MJ, just put them in a bucket." Nobody didn't mean anything bad by it. He just figured like it's easier transportation. So my son has like community support, and a long time ago, his worker was this woman who she was very short, and trust me, that is relevant. So we would bring him to meet with her once a week. She would usually help him with homework and stuff. So one day we're all trying to get him to do some homework, and he was really resistant. He was looking out the window, totally distracted. So she said to him like, "Hey, come on, you gotta focus and get some homework done." And he looked at her and said, "Where are your parents?" That entire time he thought that she was a kid because she was so little, like they were almost the same height, and he thought these were play dates.